Hello, all you Freddy fans out there. It is your horror host with the most, Benjamin Dutil, with the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, in this nightmarish episode, I have a special guest, a very talented guest, who I think is from the golden era of Hollywood, Miss Leslie Hoffman, who you all know as the Hall Guard in Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Miss Leslie Hoffman, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
The pleasure and honor is all mine. Like I said before, I am a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and you being in the first movie, the catalyst of the franchise, which created a much more wider world, more open to the public of who Freddy Kreuger is and his backstory and all that jazz. So you are a part of that franchise, which is fantastic. And that's something that's never going to go away. Everyone is going to recognize you for that franchise. And you've also been in Star Trek as well, from what I understand. Um,
Yes, Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager.
so yes, you have a very impressive resume. You've been in a myriad of television shows and movies as a stunt woman and stunt coordinator. You are a legend in my eyes.
Oh,
So, once again, thank you for joining me today. If you could please tell us a little bit about yourself.
well, I come from a small town in northern New York called Saranac Lake. There's 5,000 people, and actually, we're probably the biggest city in the Adirondack Park in northern New York. Um, I, as far as remember as a child, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I I thought it meant actress, but I actually went to two different acting schools in New York City, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and Herbert Burkhoff. And actually, it was the American Academy. I found acting to be absolutely boring. I mean, the way they taught the class, it was you step over here, say your line. Then you step over here and you say your line. And I was shocked that this was acting. This is what I wanted to be when I grew up or left home. Uh, in the early 70s, my older brother was at Caltech in Pasadena, California, and we went to Universal Studios tour, and at the tour was the stunt Western show. And here these guys come out and they're talking to the audience and they're talking to themselves, but they're cracking a whip, they're shooting a gun, they're fighting with each other, they're falling off a building. And that's when I realized I wanted to be a stunt woman. So when I graduated high school, I went out to California and I became a stunt woman.
Fantastic. Very admirable story, and I love every single second of it.
Thank you. I mean, believe me, I am one of the lucky few that actually made it into the business. There's whatever, 10,000 women wanting to be actresses. Maybe there's um 100 plus women that want to be stunt women. But if there's only one job and 100 people applying for one job, I mean, it's not easy. So I was very, very lucky.
I will have to agree with you 100%. Life doesn't turn out the way you want it to be sometimes, but when it does, it's always in your favor. So And the way you, even though your role in the Nightmare on Elm Street was a very brief role, you still have one of the most famous taglines in the franchise.
I know
So,
it, it's so amazing. I actually timed that scene, the scene that I mean, after Nancy comes running out of the classroom after Tina, I timed the point that she comes around the corner, runs into me. Uh, it's 19 seconds long, and yet it has three of the most iconic lines from the movie, which is where's your pass? Screw your pass. Hey, Nancy, no running in the hallway. I mean, people even today will see me and they'll say, no running in the hallway.
must bring that just must make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside when people recognize that and say that to you. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah. I
it,
mean,
it
I think when I became a stunt woman, part of my hopes was that I was going to be probably in an Academy Award winning movie and remembered for that. Uh, so it is quite shocking that this, at that time, it was a low budget movie. Uh, it's amazing that I'm going to be remembered for Nightmare on Elm Street, which I don't mind. It just wasn't what I thought was going to happen or what thought that people would remember me for.
that's a good thing. I mean, I'm hoping one day that I get remembered for something. Maybe one day, I don't know. I'm fingers crossed that I'm remembered for something like that because you had spent 25 years getting shot at, thrown downstairs, and a stunt career that's landed you on the Serenat Lake Walk of Fame, which is a fantastic achievement. You should pat yourself on the back, give yourself a high five or something. Any recognition like that is phenomenal. And you became one of the top stunt women in Hollywood and made history in the 1980s when you became the first stunt woman elected to the Screen Actors Guild Board of Directors. So you set the bar for everybody. You set the example, and you should be very proud of yourself for doing that. I mean, it's astonishing.
Oh,
And
you know, again, when you're doing something like that, you don't even think about it. You know, I ran for the board of directors because I believed in safety for not only the stunt people, but the actors and the crew as well. I mean, there have been accidents where the crew has been hurt.
oh,
So,
I imagine, I imagine so. So, if you don't mind, we could talk about your role as the hall monitor real quick. A few questions I'd like to ask you. Um, what was your reaction when I guess I'm pronouncing it wrong. Tony Cesare hired you to have a small part in the movie.
yeah,
Did you have any idea what was going on?
yeah, no, it was again, stunt people don't have agents. We don't audition for stunt role. You know, I want you to do a 60-foot high fall as an audition for free. No, I don't think so. Anyways, yes, I got a call from Tony and he said, "Would you like to work on, are you available to work on this show?" And I'm telling you right off the bat, it's a low budget horror movie. And I said, yeah, sure. Um, and I went to the abandoned high school. They gave me the address. And even back then, you can see that I liked long hair. Um, the hairdresser put me in ponytails. The sweater was put on me, and well, stunt people don't even get scripts. so Wes Craven walked up to me and he said, okay, she, Nancy, Heather, however he said it, is going to come around the hall and run into you and knock you to the floor. And you're going to say, "Where's your pass?" And that, like you say, that was the only instructions he gave me. And me saying, "Where's your pass?" was just my own reaction from being knocked to the floor. I mean, that it wasn't like, "I want you to scream that." I mean, that was me saying, "Where's your pass?" And then Nancy says, "Screw your pass." That was one scene. And then the other scene was the hallway where they had the glove on me. And I keep asking everyone this question is like, why did I have the blood scratches on my face? I have no idea why I guess it just looked good. But anyways, Wes Craven walks up to me and I swear he almost looks like he's going to cry. And he says to me, "Leslie, I need you to say, 'Hey, Nancy, no running in the hallway.' Wave the glove and do a sinister laugh. But I'm going to tell you right now, uh, your voice is not going to make it onto film because the actor's going to dub that line in." And like you say, he was really upset. I'm a stunt woman. Uh, you know, I it didn't bother me at all that I didn't say the line, or at least "Where's your pass" is me saying it. That made the movie, but yeah, Robert Englund dubbed the line in later. And in fact, I met him at a convention and he was telling me he was in New York at the time that they were doing the dubbing. And they took him to this really old, dirty, dingy sound studio. And they didn't even have like the headset you're wearing right now. The headset they had was made out of leather. I mean, and I mean, who knows what year that headset was from, but
1970 something.
anyways, he saw the piece of film and the actor that he is, he was able to match my mouth saying, "Hey, Nancy, no running in the hallway," and the sinister laugh. And it's kind of interesting is that I've only had one fan that said they were scared about when Nancy ran around the corner and ran into me. But most fans will say when Robert's voice came out of your mouth, that did it. They were scared. Um, talk about, well, perfectly named movie is that they had nightmares from that scene from Robert's voice coming out of my mouth.
So for a brief moment, you were Freddy Krueger. How cool is that? So
Yeah, yeah. And even when they did the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, they cut that scene out. So I am the only person that was the hall guard, hall monitor, whatever you want to call her. That is me, and in forever will be me only.
you are a legacy. So this is, and here is a fun fact, something that I learned about the movie. Um, is what most people don't know that you and Robert England were the only two that wore sweaters that had no stripes on the sleeves.
That's right. Uh, in fact, that's another funny story is that I was showing my convention picture to I won't say who it is, but another well-known horror actor, and I'm showing him the picture just to get his feeling about it. It's the picture of me in the hallway with the glove, and he said, well, where'd you set that up? And I go, what are you talking about? He's going, well, it's fake. I go, what? It's not fake. It's a screen capture. No, it's fake. Why? Because you don't have any stripes on your sleeves. Well, obviously, he never saw Nightmare on Elm Street. So you're right. That Freddie and I, or Robert and I, are the only people that wore a sweater that had the stripes on the body part, but had red color sleeves only.
Yep.
And
I mean,
when they went to make the next or the sequel, they could not find a sweater like that anymore. So that's why the only sweater they could find was one that had stripes on the sleeves. And that's what everybody thinks of Freddy, with the sweater with the stripes on the sleeves. But that's a
yeah.
good trivia question. That should be on Jeopardy or something. Is like, I don't know how you would say it, but yeah, uh,
It's
red
an
sleeves only.
I actually learned that I have a horror movie trivia game. It's like Trivial Pursuit, and that's actually one of the questions. It's like who and what else, who and another person are the only two people that wore the same sweater in Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's on the back of the card. It says Leslie Hoffman and Robert Englund. That is actually in the game, so
Aw.
which is
Can,
really cool. So
could you send me a picture of me or a picture
um,
of the card or something like that?
I gotta find it. It's I just recently moved, so a lot
Uh,
of stuff running on the is still in
it,
boxes.
it
So
doesn't matter, but it'd be fun to see that. I mean,
so
again, you don't realize, uh, like I've gone to Estee or eBay and someone has either painted a picture of me, made a doll of me, or made a trading card or a sticker. And here I am. And I did not know that that people remembered me from the original movie.
like I said, you are a legacy actress. You have reached that status tier in the
Uh,
horror community. So I were you able to catch or keep any props from the stage at all, from the movie set at all whatsoever?
unfortunately, no. There actually, well, again, the sweater disappeared, the glove disappeared. I don't have them. No, I wasn't allowed to keep anything from the movie. I
So
like I
when
said,
you
I don't even have a script of the original movie.
wow. And if you can get your hands on that, I mean, and just frame it in a glass box or something, it's just and keep that as a memento. I mean, that'd be fantastic. It's just cool to be on the set of that movie. I mean, you being a you either performed as a stunt coordinator, as a stunt double, in a lot of movies, and I have to know which one is your favorite role.
Hmm, my favorite role. I don't know. I guess it really has to be Nightmare on Elm Street because I didn't realize how many people would remember me from that. I mean, I had a great time on the Naked Gun set with Ricardo Montalban and Leslie Nielsen. I had a great time on the television show MASH. I was sitting at the lunch table by myself, and I hear this voice say to me, "Can I have lunch with you?" And I say yes. Well, I said yes first, then I turn around and it's Harry Morgan, it's Colonel Potter. And we sat down and just had lunch together, and we just chatted about everything. And
That is
and
super
that's
cool.
amazing. I mean,
That is.
oh,
Go
there,
ahead.
uh we'll keep you.
Mhm.
There are some movie sets that when an actor isn't needed, they just completely disappear. You don't know, they've gone to their dressing room and that's it. There are other movies or television shows that the actor or actress will sit with you and talk with you and you have a good time.
It seems like you've had an amazing career, and I'm jealous. To be honest, I'm really jealous because you've got to meet all these incredible actors and actresses, and you set the bar for a lot of stunt people and stunt coordinators, and you were of an amazing and notorious franchise. So you certainly deserve everything you've gotten and all the recognition, especially being part of the Screen Actors Guild Board of Directors. That's a big achievement. I mean,
It
congratulations to you and everything you've done. I mean,
Yeah, it really was. Like you say, up to when I got elected in the early 80s, it had always been a stuntman on the board of directors, and uh, usually one that belonged to an all men's group. And the independent stunt coordinators, like Tony Caesar, uh, and the stunt women, we really didn't have a voice. We just had to go along with what was being told to us. So not only being the first stunt woman elected to the board of directors, I was the first independent stunt person elected to the board of directors. And for once, the independents had a voice. They could, through me to the board, I could tell them what was going on. Now, whether I was listened to or not is another story, but uh, yeah, it 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 was a new beginning, and I'm very proud of that.
well, you should be because, like I said, you're top tier, gold level of acting. You're up there. So, um, so if you could give any advice to anyone who is now starting as a stunt double or coordinator, what advice would you give to them?
I'm going to take one step backwards from your question is um I have a couple of relatives. One said that she could have been a rock cat, but she was scared and she got married instead. I have another cousin that says she could have been an actress, but I got scared and I got married instead. So, anyone that wants to be a stunt person, I would say go for it. At least try. If you tried and you're not successful, at least you know in life that you did try. I mean, hopefully you will be a successful stunt person. I guess now to answer your question more of what you asked is you really need a gymnastic background or rodeo or circus or scuba diving. You really should have a specialty. I mean, you have a lot of stunt people that say they're all around stunt people. There aren't all around stunt people. I mean, I do not drive a motorcycle, and I was called up and asked if I would drive a motorcycle, lay it down, and slide it underneath a truck. And I said, thank you very much, but I don't do this. Here's the name of a stunt woman that does do it. So never take a stunt that you can't do. I mean, there's a major difference between a daredevil and a stunt person. A daredevil does his thing once, he breaks every bone in his body, and he's in the hospital for 18 months. A stunt person is a professional athlete that that may have to do a stunt over and over again until the director gets what they want. And well, it's better that you're known as a one-take artist, is what we call it. Um, and on Nightmare on Elm Street, I believe we only filmed the running into me scene and the hallway scene once. I mean, Wes got what he wanted. And in fact, later he hired me on Deadly Friend to double Anne Ramsey. And then he also hired me on Scream 2 to double Laurie Metcalf. I swear he was trying to kill me on that one. It was the theater scene, and I got hit in the head with a beer bottle, and I mean, the stage just falls apart on me. Well, it's because Nev Campbell is cutting the ropes of the various things that are holding the lights up on the stage. So when she cuts the ropes, like I say, the lights come down and I have to jump out of the way of that. A pillar falls over, I have to jump out of the way of that. I start climbing up a wall and the wall falls apart and I get buried underneath these. They were they were actually styrofoam bricks, but there were so many styrofoam bricks that fell on top of me. They had to dig me out of these bricks.
Ben, you're amazing. That's all. If I could use one word to sum up your career, it would be amazing. So this is how I feel about you and what you've done, what you contributed to the horror community and the film industry itself. You are a phenomenal actress, and I just wish I could see you in a lot more. Um, so
Well,
do you have
unfortunately, I've retired out now.
uh,
I'm uh, age catches up with you, and there are certain stunts I wouldn't even try to do. A big stunt for me is just to sit down and stand up out of a chair. That's a stunt nowadays.
I know exactly how you feel. So, do you have anything that's any upcoming projects, book signings, conventions that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, actually, I have a convention coming up in Ottawa, and I also have a convention coming up in Geneva, New York. So, I'll be there, and I have an agent, James, and he is working his tail off to get me into conventions so people can see me. So hopefully I will be down New Jersey way and around the country.
So maybe he can get you into Monster Mania this upcoming August because Robert Englund is going to be there. And if you get you along with Monster Mania with Robert Englund, that would be great. Because
Oh, it is it actually is so sad. This is the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street, and someone really should have made sure that the remaining cast, John Saxon's gone now, but the remaining cast of Nightmare on Elm Street should have been touring the countryside this year for the 40th anniversary, and it just wasn't done.
well, I'm sorry. I mean, I would love to see you at Monster Mania in August with Robert Englund. Having you two sit by side would be amazing. So maybe have your agent reach out to the person who runs the convention. It's a huge convention. It's a very popular convention that happens twice a year in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. and they finally got Robert Englund in this year to do a huge signing. So perhaps it could happen. You never know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the way conventions work is the promoter calls up the agent and hires the guests to come to the convention. You just don't show up at a convention with pictures and say, "Here I am." And unfortunately, uh, no one thought of me. I mean,
Well,
it just,
I'll reach out to the handler for Monster Mania, okay? Because I talk to him on a daily basis on Facebook. So maybe I'll reach out to him if they get a hold of you via Instagram or email. Say, hey, we want you at the convention because that would be a great addition to the show, in my opinion. So I'll see what I can do to reach out to the person who runs it, and perhaps he will reach out to you,
oh, I'd
and we'll just
appreciate.
see.
Yeah,
So
well,
I have one last favor to ask of you. And if you could just say it for me, your famous line from the movie.
I'm not sure which one is it the one that I really don't get to say? Is it, "Hey Nancy, no running in the hallway."
Yes, that one. Perfect. Yes. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. We're running out of time. I am so sorry. You've been a fantastic guest, and I really enjoyed talking to you, gaining insight about your role, your background, everything about you. You are a legacy actress. You are up there top tier. I am not gonna. If anyone who disagrees with me, they have to kiss my butt. That's all I'm gonna say. So
Well, again, I appreciate you thinking of me and having me on your show.
the honor and pleasure is all mine, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I wish you, yeah, a wonderful evening or afternoon, wherever you are. I don't know. So,
Actually, we're in the same time zone.
uh,
It's only
oh,
10:35 in the morning right now.
oh,
I'm just getting started.
okay. So have a wonderful rest of the day. And thank you for being on my show.
Oh, thank you so much. And take
Take
care.
care. I'll see you later.
Bye.